Hi there. I'm Eric Wordweaver Sjerven, Gothi of the Hridgar folk here in East Texas, and I'd like to welcome you to the Raven's Call. This is where I ramble on about different heathen-related subjects. Just depends on what strikes my mood and my fancy at the time. Sometimes it's intro stuff, sometimes it's more advanced stuff. Look at the older videos if you want the full intro spiel. This is a follow-up to my previous video that was on my bloat video. I had a request in the comments on YouTube. Yes, I do read those, all of them, and I try to account for them and reply to them as best I can. And when you guys make requests, I try to do this. I turn them into videos when I can, as long as it's not something that's huge, like the lexicon request. It'll happen, but it's going to take a while. That's a thing. So it's huge. I'll probably do that in sections. So I had somebody ask me about the 9 worlds too. I got to wrap my head around how to do that one as a video. But anyway, before I get started, remember to hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, all of that. It's important for me as far as the demographics go to be able to understand what you guys do and don't like. So I need that feedback. Let me know. Right. Today's subject is going to be a follow-up on the whole ritual aspect of things. You know, last time we talked about bloat. This time we're going to talk about Symbel. Now, this is not just a how do you do this particular ritual thing. This is a how does Hridgar do this particular ritual thing. Because as I explained in my previous video, you can go back and watch that one to get the full rundown. But I do not videotape my rituals under any circumstances. I don't allow that outside window on my inner yard. Just don't do that. It doesn't work most of the time. To begin with, but in addition to that, I just don't do that as a choice. So, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about how Hridgar does Symbel. Symbel is a whole can of worms, guys. All right, there's plenty of literature out there in how to do a historic Symbel, which is different than the Symbel that I do with my tribe now. Again, as I've said before, I'm not a hardcore recon. I'm not a historical heathen. I pull from those elements to build on what we will do in the future. And we kind of build towards a future. But I do not try to recreate specifically and exactly what our ancestors did. I'm more interested in what we believe and what we do because we do it as a tribe. It's about my tribe. So, and it's a debate for another day. But anyway, historically speaking, Symbel was very different from how it's done in the modern age. Okay, I am not going to give a crash course in that because I am not a professional. I'm not an expert on historical Symbel. I recommend you go to one of the Recon Heathen pages and read about it, or go to there's a couple of really good books. I know Lady with a Mead Cup is one that's referenced to me a lot. There's a couple of really good reference materials you can go to look at how to do a historical style Symbel, such as kind of what was done in Beowulf. If you've read Beowulf, there's a good example of kind of how a Symbel would be done. It's more formal. There's a lot of specifics on who can be involved and who can't. And I think a lot of what we have that survives out of it is actually born out of the warband. That being said, I like how we do Symbel now, and so I'm going to keep doing that. It works for us. I see results. I see effectiveness in it, because the way that I see it is that bloat is for the sacred, or for the other. Bloat is for the other. Bloat is how we as a tribe interact with the gods and goddesses, the ancestors, the Vatir. That is how the inner yard interacts with other entities. Okay, that is that exchange of energies, that exchange of gifts. It's a ritualized gift exchange between two entities, two tribes. But on a cultural level, a spiritual, religious level, it's how we engage in the gift cycle with the gods and goddesses, with the Vatir, with our ancestors, things like that. Now, Symbel is about the people. Symbel is about the folk. Symbel is about my tribe. When I sit down to do Symbel, Symbel is about tapping in to the well of Weird. It is tapping into the orlog of everyone that's in that circle, that's in that ritual. It's about sharing those energies. It's about sharing pieces of ourselves, vulnerability. It's about opening up in the inner yard and establishing strong connections in weird. It's about tying those threads together so that we may be stronger as a people, so that we may be more complete as a tribe. So I like to call Symbel heathen therapy, because there's a lot of really good stuff, a lot of really good emotional stuff that goes into Symbel. Kind of like a memory horn, the second round of Symbel with the ancestors I find to be extremely therapeutic, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But structurally speaking, the way that we build our Symbel is that we utilize the 3-round process. Again, not a hardcore recon heathen, not historical heathen, so I throw that out there because the 3-round thing with the single horn is not historically accurate, from what I gather. It's kind of a modern Asatru, modern heathen kind of thing, but I like it. It's effective. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's not effective as a ritual. That's just how I see things. But anyway, the way that we do Symbel is we do the 3 rounds. The first round is dedicated to the gods and goddesses, the second round is dedicated to the ancestors, and the third round is dedicated to toasts, oaths, and boasts. It's kind of a free round, so to speak. It's about sharing frith and tying weird. So I set the rules. I let them know that these are the rounds. This is what's going to happen. We do not allow Laufey's son, or Loki, to be hailed over the horn. I have specific reasons for that. I know that is a point of contention for a lot of heathens out there, because I've had some really good, really good conversations with individuals regarding their stance on Loki. Just understand that's one of our rules, and that we expect people to respect that when they come up and share a horn with us for Symbel. Not my hall, not my call. Your rules are your rules as far as your tribe and kindred goes. So I'm not going to judge if you do, if you don't. This is just what we do, because that's what you asked for. Okay? So we do not hail Laufey's son or any of his children, with the possible exception of Hel, in specific instances, because she is guardian of the underworld tied to our ancestors. That is an interesting point of conversation that we go back and forth on. I love those conversations. It's really interesting, and our understanding and development continues to grow day by day, so mine included. I'm learning every day, helping to flesh out where we stand on things. So we'll lay these rules out. No baleful wights, no baleful Jotuns, nothing that's going to be a danger to the tribe. Here's what I'm doing in that. I am trying to set a boundary, a ward, wherein we do not allow into our Symbel circle those things that would be damaging or in some way poisonous or troublesome to the tribe. I'm trying to safeguard our weird, because in this moment of Symbel, when we are laying our souls bare and we are tying to one another, when we are forging this bond, tying this weird together, we're vulnerable in this instance, which is why I don't allow windows from the outside world. I don't allow just anyone into our Symbels. I have to know you, I have to vet you. And in the same, I don't allow things that I know are going to be bad for the tribe into that circle. Not going to happen. I ask that people keep things positive and that we stay away from negativity, that we do not focus on rumor mongering, things like that. And we try not to downsay other people over the horn, but rather gainsay. We boast about good things. I do not want negativity over the horn. That's not what I want going into the well. I want good things. Now, it's okay to talk about bad things that have happened to you, especially in your efforts to overcome them. The victories that you've achieved in trying to do that, or the struggle that you are enduring now trying to go through it. Those things are fine. But this is not the place to bring in negativity, to bring in talking people down, things like that. So, the first round of the gods and goddesses, the way this looks is I will open everything up. Here we sit the Hridgar Folk for Symbel, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to give you all of my script, but yeah. And then I'll start the horn round. I will take the first round, the first drink of the round. And then we have Thunderwell, which is a great big horn with our bind rune on the front of it. Love it. It was a gift to our tribe from, I believe, Tiershelm back in the day. And it's been passed down to me now that I'm over the tribe. And so we have this Thunderwell. And Thunderwell is the echo chamber of the Storm Spear tribe, which is Hridgar. I'll do another video sometime on the breakdown of our name and etymology and why our tribe is the way we are, but that's not for today. So, Thunderwell. I will take the first drop, raise the horn on high, and I will hail whatever god or goddess at the time is appropriate for the day. There's not a set rule set on, as far as the way we do things, as to who you hail. Frequently, if it's like for a festival, like Midsummer, I will go ahead and hail whomever the focal point of the festival is to keep the theme going and to keep them tied to us throughout the festival, both in opening with the bloat and closing with the symbol. Because that's how I do things. I like to open with the bloat, festivities, close with symbol. So my first round will usually be to whomever we are doing offerings that day. Sometimes I will default back to individual gods and goddesses that I've had particular ties to, insights from, inspirations from, or that are just on my mind. So it varies. I don't have a hard set rule. And then the horn is passed around the circle. Now, I have two formats for Symbel the way we do it. We have folk Symbel and we have high Symbel. High Symbel is closer to what a recon would actually consider to be Symbel, wherein it's indoors, there's tables, there's a sequence of things, assigned seating by the host in relation to honor the guests and where they are in the social hierarchy underneath the Lord or host or whatever. There's a lot of rules that go into that. And we don't get to do that one very often because we're country folk and we don't have a whole lot of facilities to be able to host a large high Symbel like that. Most of ours are what I like to call folk Symbel, and this is honestly my favorite version of it. I do enjoy a high Symbel now and again, but folk Symbel is how I really like it. We either gather around in the living room or we gather around the campfire outside and we share the horn. Now, the horn is passed around the circle. In high Symbel, the horn would of course be passed by the lady to each of the guests. As we talked again before in the role of the feminine in ritual, there's a specific reason that you do this, both from a sociological aspect, a cultural aspect, and from a metaphysical ritual basis point of view. So just roll with that. In folk Symbel, because it is more relaxed and because I want it to be organic, the horn is passed around just freely and from one to the next. Raise the horn, hail to the god or goddess in question, hail Odin, hail something, whatever, and then everyone echoes a hail. So we like to punctuate with hail. So hail Odin. Everyone else will come in with hail Odin, and then I'll take my draft and I will pass it around, and each of my individuals in the circle will then get their chance at the horn. The horn comes back to me, and I say the good words have been spoken into the well of our gods and goddesses, of the blessings they give us and what they mean to us in our lives. I close the first round, and then I open the second round, which is to the ancestors, to the dearly departed, to the fallen. These are to the people in our lives that are tied to our family lines, that are... They don't necessarily have to be blood to you. The essence on the ancestor round, from the way that I see it, is that these are individuals whose actions and deeds impacted your orlog, that impacted where you are, who you are today, and who you've developed into. So it could be a mentor that meant the world to you when you were growing up, who you shared a great deal of weird with, but they mean more to you than the great cousin 27 times removed that you never met. This person was much more family to you than that blood relative whom you never laid eyes on. So to me, it's about the impact and weird. Yes, blood ties go all the way back. I can hail anybody in my bloodline all the way back to however far I can trace it, as long as I can tie that, because they do obviously have an impact on my orlog and on where I am, because if they hadn't done what they had done, my bloodline would never have started and I wouldn't be here. So, I mean, it's very simple, very straightforward there. But I do have individuals in my past that aren't necessarily family, that I've had ties with, that I have been pulled towards, that I have very strong ties and weird with. And so that round is for them too. It's okay. You know, that director for your high school theater troupe that was family to you. Cool. You know, She was like your stage mother. I get it. You wouldn't be who you are today without her inspirations. That troop leader in Boy Scouts that really got to you, that pointed you in the right direction. The guy down at the Y or rec center or wherever it is that you went after school that was able to get through to you. The friend's mom who just saw you struggling and was able to say, hey, you're good for my kid's good for you. I don't mind pointing you in the right direction. I mean, they come in all different shapes, all different sizes, from different walks of life. You never know who's going to be there. So that's the ancestors round. I could go on for a while on that, but I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead. It is strictly for the fallen. It is to hail those that are on the other side of the veil in the underworld. It is not for the living. Okay, the third round is for the living. The second round is for the dead. So that's very specific. And it needs to be. Think about the honor that you are bestowing upon the individuals that you hail over the horn. Frequently, I like to say to individuals that I have strong ties with weird too. Okay, so like my grandfathers, I get to hail them a lot because I have good weird ties with them, and I'm trying to keep their memories alive, do my part to kind of build on their legacy and to make sure that someone is speaking their name over the horn. I'm doing my part to do that. But I do the same with other extended family members, my Uncle Gary, individuals like that, my great-grandmother on my grandmother's side, my mom's side, and Pauline Gerbers. I like to pull her name in a lot and keep her memory alive. Things like that. We are their immortality, and this is our chance to do that. So don't be afraid. Step up. Tell the stories. Usually a toast goes along with a bit of a story. I explain what they mean to me, an impact that they've had in my life, a little anecdote. Now, don't go on for a half hour like I will with these videos, but do take a couple of minutes. You have the horn. It's okay to spend 5 minutes talking about this ancestor and what they meant to you. Now, don't get me wrong. It's probably better if you keep it to like 3, because you do want to keep the pacing and everything moving. But I mean, if it's a heartfelt toast and it's really there, and trust me, time is, once that horn gets going around, you start to lose track of time, because that's not what it's about. You're not thinking about how long this is going on. For a good symbol, when it's really established, you've lost track of time, so you're just going with the flow. So make your toast, speak a story of them, the impact they had, what they meant to you. Keep their name alive, keep their legend alive. Use this to build it. We're mixing all of this into the well of weird. Okay? So, the third round is toasts, oaths, and boasts. I never let anybody say an oath over the horn without clearing with me ahead of time. Any oath sworn over the horn ties the weird of everyone in that circle together. When an oath is made in symbol, it is sacred. It ties everyone together, and everyone's weird is at stake. Everyone's luck is at stake. Okay? So if you make an oath over the horn, I'm going to make you set shield. I'm going to make you set what you will repay everyone if you fail to uphold your end of this bargain. Okay? You are gambling all of our luck on an oath when you say it on the oath ring over the horn in the third round. I take that very seriously. So if you oath that you are going to do this thing in the next year and you can't pull that off, we're going to set terms now as to what you will do to pay back the tribe to offset the damage to the luck. So, if you oath to, write a book before the end of the next year and you fail to do that, well, then we have to set some kind of task at that time that when it comes up and you're not going to make that in time, you're not going to have that book done, you can go ahead and complete your shield and then show up and say at the symbol for that year, go for that holiday. Usually it's at Yule we do these things. So show up at Yule and say, look, I made this oath this time last year, would write this book during the year. Unfortunately, I was not able to do that. As a result, because this is one that I used to do, all right, specifically. I used to, I would oath that I would teach 3 classes, that I would teach, that I would write 3 essays throughout the year, one of which having to be a big monstrosity of a paper, which is actually how my soul essay stuff, my soul complex stuff was born. The research for that was, that was the oath fulfillment, was working on that essay. And so My shield that I had to set over the horn at Yule was that if I did not complete those 3 essays in the time allotted before Mother's Night the following year, I would have to serve as dish monkey for the High Feast of Yule, for the tribe, wash all of the dishes for the festival, to which Katie, the wife of the then chieftain Mike, was really hoping that I wouldn't make it so she wouldn't have to wash the dishes. But I got it done, so I didn't have to pay the shield. The idea behind the shield is that it's something that you do to pay back the tribe for the damage done to the luck as a result of failing to fulfill your oath. Okay? So, other than that, toasts and boasts. Toasting is when you hail someone else over the horn, speak of their good deeds, speak of what they're up to, the impact that they have. A lot of times they will hail the hosts who have brought you there, and I'll hail my other tribesmen that are in, like my Jarls or my Carls or whatever. I will hail these people and speak of their good deeds over the horn so that their legacy goes in and is made one with the weird of the tribe, which it's doing anyway, but this helps to cement it. This helps to put a spotlight on it, a chapter note. This is an important thing, and I want it made clear. These are good people doing good things, and here's why and how. So a lot of times I'll toast my tribesmen in that. I will toast my guests. I may toast, an individual, and usually I try to keep the toast to the people that are actually there, but it's not required. You can speak well of people who are not there because you want them tied to the weird of everyone else, because you want that put in the well with everyone there and everyone to bear witness to you toasting this person. The idea is that those witnesses help to tie all of those pieces of weird together, and it makes that focal point in weird even stronger. So I'll do another video on focal point and gravity wells in weird, the way that I see it, later on. It's an interesting conversation. Still got to wrap my head around how to do a video on it though. Now, boasting is a different story, okay? Boasting is when you speak of your own good deeds, the things that you have done in this world, and it's okay to boast, all right? I think I've already done a video on boasting versus bragging, and boasting is a good thing in heathenry. When you have done something that's worthy of recognition, it's okay to speak up and say that, because you are forging your legacy. You are forging what you will be remembered for. You are forging your name. You are building your luck, your gefrain, or reputation with everyone that you interact with. And so, boast. If you wrote those 3 essays during the year and completed your oath, then boast about it. Stand up and say, I did a thing and it was good. And we are better as a tribe because I've done this good thing. So celebrate with me and let us have a grand time. It's the same as saying, hey, that guy over there did a great thing for this tribe, or he's done great for himself, and because of that, we're better as a tribe. Let's celebrate with him. He's awesome. That's what it's about. It's about celebration. It's about tying each other together. It's about sharing those elements. So boasting is an important part. You have to be okay with saying your own good deeds. And a lot of people, because of Judeo-Christian baggage, are not okay with that. Because Western society tells us that that is being a braggart, that's being arrogant and full of oneself. And that's just not how it goes, all right? So don't worry about that. Heathenry looks at the world differently. Somebody actually asked me to do a video on the heathen worldview. That's a monstrous thing. All of my videos put together make up the worldview. I may do a video explaining that, but I don't know that I can do a video that encompasses the heathen worldview. You spend the next 10 years of your life looking at how heathens see the world, and then you'll understand the heathen worldview. It's not a 30-minute video kind of thing. So, Symbel. First round is to the gods and goddesses. Second round to the ancestors. Third round, toasts, oaths, and boasts. Any round that I choose to add on after that is just a free round. It's open up. Okay. A lot of times this will be where songs are sung, where stories are told, where more toasting is done, more boasting is done. This is where people just kind of celebrate and share themselves with each other. They're putting a piece of themselves out there, and we're tying weird together. We're mixing it with the well, which goes into our orlog. It ties together and transitions and sets this layer together. The shared moment in history is recorded, and it makes us stronger as a result, because we pull luck as we pull weird. And so Symbel is an incredibly important ritual to us, especially to me. I love Symbel. There's a real good reason why we do it the way we do it, and I stay to it. So that's pretty much Symbel in a nutshell, how we do it. And we'll close it out. Now, one of the things we do is we never let the horn go dry. The last draft is always to be poured out of the ground outside for the gods and goddesses. It's an honorific. So we never let the horn go dry. The Lady of the Hall is usually responsible for making sure that the horn is filled. Otherwise, I take on that responsibility as leader of the ritual. Essentially speaking, we just don't let the horn go dry. Always make sure that it's full up enough to go the round, and then keep track of it, keep it topped up as we go through, and everything works out okay. So there's other little things, little ins and outs, tips and tricks that I could give, but that's the gist of how Hridgar does Symbel. Again, like I explained before, I don't video my rituals. I will never video a Symbel. I'll tell you that right now. I will never sign off on videoing a Symbel. I'm not okay with it. That's not what it's about. No outside window to the inner yard. So that gives you kind of a gist on how we do things and why we go about the way we go about things. So if you like today's video, hit like, subscribe, comment, ding the bell so you stay up to date on things. Follow me on Facebook at Word-Weaver Productions. Follow me on Twitter if you want to at @E_Sjerven. You see how to spell it, my name, and the YouTube channel. I'm bad at Twitter. I'm really bad at Twitter. I don't like it. But you can follow me there if you want to gaff and see, oh, look at Eric trying to pretend he knows how to do Twitter today. That's probably the funniest part of it. It's like, he doesn't know what he's doing. So anyway, you can email me at esjerven@gmail.com. If you have any questions, I reply to everything that I can. I try to at least like all of the comments on YouTube, even if I can't reply to all of them at the time. I'll try to get back to them as best I can. Conversations on the Facebook group I try to jump in on. I'm starting most of them. Feel free to start some yourselves if you so choose. And emails, I will always reply to my emails. It just may take me a minute. I do have a high-stress job, so I will do what I can when I can. High-stress job and a tribe to take care of, so pretty busy guy. But I will get back to you. I just helped a friend of mine go through and develop a funeral service. So I do what I can for you guys. You know, I'll answer questions, feedback. Just so you know, I don't monetize these things because, one, I don't like that. Two, I don't really think anybody's going to sit through a commercial to watch one of my videos. Guys, let's be real, okay, guys? You know, I know. The commercial comes on midway through my video, you're going to be like, I'm done. I'm good. We're good. We're good. Now, some of my videos have got, I could see it. But for the most part, I mean, those are annoying. Those are really, really annoying. So I get it. So I choose not to put those in on you guys. And I'm not looking to make money off the channel. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to share information. So help me help you guys by giving me feedback, letting me know what you like, what you want. Because ultimately, fishing for views is not what I'm about. You know, yeah, I want people to see it. I enjoy that. I like for people to get something from what I'm doing. But if you're not getting anything from what I'm doing, it doesn't matter if a video is viewed 1,000 times if it's not any good. So let me know so I can make sure my videos are what you guys need. Okay? So, hail. Thank you guys. Have a good day.